Hi, welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking to you about IP complaints. So what are they? How can we deal with them? Now, IP complaints can be a real big nuisance, so it's really important that you know what they are and you know what to do if you get one. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Emma, this is Destination FBA and I share on Amazon via the Amazon FBA programme. So I've been doing this since January 2021 and I've been sharing my journey since the end of last year. Now, we also have a great Facebook group full of lots of helpful people, lots of helpful information, so I will pop a link to that below. Please do feel free, jump in there and join us. So firstly, let's take a look at what is an IP complaint and why we need to be wary of them. So an IP complaint is an intellectual property complaint from a brand because you've used their trademark or you've sold their products. Now, a lot of brands out there will issue these IP complaints because they're trying to protect their own name, they're trying to reduce the amount of counterfeit items. Now, this is completely understandable because they don't want a bad reputation. Now, as a seller, you're expected to abide by Amazon's terms and conditions, and as a result, they take IP complaints very, very seriously. Now, it doesn't matter if you knew you're infringing on someone's intellectual property or not, they will treat you the same. This could even lead to a suspension on that account. Now, account suspension is not something you want to be dealing with, so you need to keep that account as healthy as you possibly can. Now, if you do get a suspension, the account is effectively put on hold and you won't be able to do anything with it. So you won't be able to create any new shipments, you won't be able to make any sales, and you won't be able to receive any disbursements owed to you either. Now, this could cause you some really big problems. It could impact that cash flow as well if you cannot withdraw those funds. Now, worst case scenario, they could terminate your account altogether. Now, if they do this, it'll be game over. You will not be able to reopen the account and you will not be allowed to open a second account either. Now, it's really important to remember, just because you're engaged in an item does not mean you are okay to sell it. You could still receive an IP complaint and this could happen at any time. Now, you could have an item that you've been selling for weeks or even months and all of a sudden, out of the blue, you are hit with an IP complaint. Now, when you're doing your analysing, there's only one or maybe two FBA sellers on the listing. I would always recommend taking a look at that historical data. Now, if there is quite a high number of sellers and then all of a sudden these dropped off, this could be a really good indication that the brand owner has issued an IP complaint. Now, if you're using software like BuyBot Pro, you can see all of this information within the charts. So for this particular item, we can see there is a nice steady flow of sellers and there are no sudden drops in the number of sellers. So we would hope that this means we're pretty safe, or at least we are for now. So I would definitely recommend BuyBot Pro when it comes to analysing all those deals. The IP radar is such a huge help when it comes to that sourcing. Any known issues will be marked as red, and this is a very clear indication that we should stay well away. Now, if it's shown as amber, this means we just need to tread carefully and we need to look into it a little bit more. And then if it's shown as green, there are no known issues at all at this stage. Now, whilst this is an amazing feature, we need to remember that they can only report on IP complaints that they actually know about. So an item may show as green today and it may change to red later on. Now, they do have a very extensive list that's been added to on a daily basis, but just bear in mind, this is not a 100% guarantee. Now, this really is the same for anything on Amazon. You could be hit with an IP complaint at any time, even if you're buying from a trusted supplier. Make sure you deal with these IP issues as soon as they become apparent. Now, if you are unlucky enough to get an IP complaint, you will be notified immediately by Amazon and this will reflect on your account health as well. So this notification will show you the reason for the complaint, it will tell you the ASINs that are affected, the action steps taken and the steps you need to take. If you're unable to provide Amazon with all that information they've asked for, I would recommend you delete the listing immediately. Now, it is worth sometimes contacting the brand owner, providing them with proofs of purchase and asking if they can remove the IP complaint. Sometimes you will be lucky and they will do this, other times you may not even hear back from them. If you cannot get those complaints removed, they'll stay on your account for 180 days, but then they will be automatically removed by Amazon. Now, I have done a separate video that goes into IP complaints and how to get them removed in a lot more detail, so I will pop a link to this in the description below for you. It's a very simple process and it's something that you must do to keep that account healthy. Now, if you do receive an IP complaint that leads to a suspension on your account, you followed all the steps and you cannot get it reinstated, I would recommend you make contact with getunsuspended.com. So they are the UK's leading suspension experts and they guarantee you results or 100% of your money back. Now, hopefully you won't ever get to this point of needing them, but with Amazon there is just no telling. So I hope that's just helped you to understand what an IP complaint is and what we can do about it. But if you have any questions at all, please do pop them below, jump in our Facebook group, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, please do click that subscribe button, click the notification bell to be notified every time a new video goes live. But for now, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll hopefully see you soon.